Hello, this is Lolly. I am back from sailing, back from another trip I took for a wedding, and still dealing with the house renovation, well, house demolition, renovation, etc. When I went to Creativation, I came back and I showed you about these mixed media journal kits from Graphics. I now have these in my shop. It took a while to get these, but now I have them. And they are 6-inch square. I will give you links underneath to me showing you all the detail about this. But what I want to show, I decided to start playing with something and seeing if it worked, and it does. And that is using transfer sheets or water slides, it's another way to call it, on acetate. So at first I started playing with the Graphics acetate, but I have since also played on just packaging material that I would get in, on products. And it worked. So what I have is this 6-inch square. I'm using the lighter weight of the Dura-Lar that comes in the kit. It's wet media Dura-Lar, and it's actually treated so it can hold a lot of different mixed media products. So this is Transfer Me sheet from Dress My Craft. And so I have to look at this and see, what I want. I want something kind of bold. I like the colors on this. I think that this would go better with what I've already been working on. So I'm going to trim that fairly close to the design here. There's a lot of green dots here, and I want to get those in my project. And you want kind of round edges if you can get them. The next thing is you want to get one of your water brushes, or just dip a brush in water. That would work just as well. I have filled mine. What I'm going to do is take off this kind of clear transfer sheet here. You don't need that. Turn this upside down onto the project, kind of get it centered where you want it. And now I'm going to hold this on. You want to kind of lay it on there instead of just pushing it down like I did, then you won't get the air bubbles in there. So we're just going to moisten this, and as we're doing this, we will see the design kind of coming through, and that's how we know we've gotten it accomplished. Now, if you're using words, you can really tell when the words are on there. And I'm squeezing this, giving it a lot of water. So you could just use a regular paintbrush and water. You don't have to use this. I'm gonna get the edges done too. So this is good and soaked. Now all I have to do is just pull this off. You can see, isn't that beautiful? And I do have it in an angle, you can do it however you want it. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm just going to kind of wipe up my extra adhesive around the edge, and we are going to add to this project. Okay, so I have the stamp that says Art Log. I want to stamp that down here, and I am going to use StazOn. Just because you can use mixed media on this doesn't mean you can stamp it with just any kind of ink, and the StazOn works for many materials, many surfaces, I should say. There we go. Now I notice it does stamp in between the art and the log. Let's see if this will wipe up a little bit before it dries. There. Okay, so let's let that dry. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to work on the back with a stencil. I have this stencil that I got at Creativation from Hero Arts. Well, just shy of 6 inches, but I can move it around. I think I will tape this down. Okay, I have this acrylic paint that I got from Creativation. I'm going to use that. And I have this chartreuse stencil butter. And I'm just pushing it down. I'm not really spreading so much as pushing. I'm not trying to get it a thorough coverage. I'm just pushing it in here and there. Part of this is going behind my letters. All right, and then the rest of this is going back in here. I should have just put this on my silicone mat. That would have done a better job, and I could have scraped it in here more easily. Okay, so now I've got that. I'm going to work on adding some of this onto there as well. I'm just going to use a makeup sponge. And it's okay if I overlap the stencil butter, but what I'm going to do first is go in between the stencil butters. Okay, and that's all I need to do, but what I'm going to do is kind of overlap a little bit now, and it's going to blend them together in between. I think I'm going to grab some more of that stencil butter and get that color in right over here. And I'm leaving white spots on purpose, so. Now this butter, stencil butter, if you heat it with high heat, like your heat tool, it will start bubbling eventually. I just hit it lightly with a blow dryer, which is what I use to dry my craft supplies anyway. I don't use heat tools per se. Okay, so this is the other side, which is beautiful as you can see, but if you flip it over, then this is what you see on the back side. So we still see we have our transfer right here. I'm trying to get this at the right angle here. There we go. And I think some of the back paint is still a little wet. That's why I'm being a little careful here. But there you go. So now we have a new page to our journal. And I am also going to look at some of my trim and see if I find any trim that I can stitch on there. See, it is still a little wet, so we need to wait a little longer here. Okay, so we have this done. It's all nice and dry. You can see there, I love it. I specifically avoided putting thick paste right on this side because I knew I wanted to sew on this. And yes, you could sew on this. I have this beautiful trim that someone dyed for me and sent me. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to leave it all wrinkly like this and stitched down on it. Okay, so I did back stitch at the very ends. I think I'm going to leave some of this just like hanging off like that a little bit, not make it perfect. Cute. Okay, so this becomes the next page in my journal. Let's remove this. Okay, so then there you go. This is the image that I used the water transfer on. And now we have another page here, and look at the back. It's perfect as it is. I mean, I could do whatever I want. I could still put images on it or just leave it as it is. This will go in here. So thank you for watching. I will give you a link underneath this video to this kit. And to some water slides from Dress My Craft, and this one is called Eternal Love. Thank you so much for watching.